We're about to strike hard on spoilers for Cobra Kai Season 4, so if you're not caught up with the show and you haven't finished the brand new season yet, click off right now and go watch my non-spoiler review of the entire season while I just give you some tidbits on the juiciness. But now, we're gonna dive deep and we're gonna talk some nitty-gritty spoilers, so stay tuned. What's up everybody, welcome back to The Heads Project. I'm John Ordalaza and today we're talking about Cobra Kai Season 4 spoilers. I want to talk about two relationships in this show and it's between Terry Silver and John Kreese. Now, they are the baddies of this universe and the show does not shy away from giving them that light of telling you that these are some bad dudes, but you do see a little bit of a different side. So I don't remember if I talked about the flashbacks of season 3 when I reviewed it, but there was flashbacks of John Kreese when he was in Vietnam and he was in Vietnam with Terry Silver. We get more of that just a little bit in this season 4 with Terry Silver remembering that John Kreese is the one who saved him and freed him, and he said, "I owe you everything, dude. I owe you a debt." So you can already see in the beginning of this season when John Kreese goes to visit Terry Silver after he made that phone call at the end of season 3, he goes to visit him in the beginning of this season when Terry Silver has now left that life. He wants to believe he's a changed man. He knows how to play piano now. He's got a girl. He's hosting parties where they're eating fancy foods. Like, he wants to change, but deep down he knows, and John Kreese reminds him that there's always Cobra Kai. Once Cobra Kai is in your life, it never leaves. And as they said in the third film and in these flashbacks, Cobra Kai never dies. I don't know, dude. Something about the relationship between John Kreese and Terry Silver in those flashbacks, when they do the handshake and when they say it, Cobra Kai never dies, dude. It sends shivers down my spine because it makes me care about the villains. It's crazy, man. No other IP or franchise out there can really get me to care about the villains like that. It's like a brotherhood almost, but in a sick, twisted way. They still do some bad stuff, but at the end of the day, like, they're still brothers, man. They're a brotherhood. I really do care about those two. And so John Kreese's first attempt in bringing back Terry Silver fails. He got into his head a little bit, and every time they cut back to Terry Silver at his place, all by himself, he's like contemplating on, like, is this really who I am? Who does that dude think he is to tell me who he thinks I am? It's only until the moment when Terry Silver is looking at himself through the mirror, he sees his torso. He's got, like, I guess he removed the tattoo that he gets in this flashback of, like, what, the hand gripping on the cobra. I think he got that tattoo removed, and it was in that flashback, though, that he figured out who he really was, and he is that Terry Silver of Cobra Kai. And it's only in this moment when he takes his hair back, puts it in the hair tie, looks himself in the mirror and smirks. That's the moment that Terry Silver from The Karate Kid Part 3 returns. I guess it's some sort of metaphor that the hair tie is a cobra and he's in the grasp of a cobra now. It's the reverse of the tattoo. Not only did I love seeing Silver and Kreese team up again in this season and become that powerhouse duo that like they once were, but I loved the slow dissension. Like, it started almost immediately after they got back together. Like in what, episode 4 or 5, they started descending a little bit. Like, their ideals became a little different. Kreese, although he's still very hardcore in his teachings, he's slowly showing a little bit of a soft spot, just a tiny bit of a soft spot for his students. You can see immediately that Silver is trying to push, what's his name, Robbie. He's trying to push Robbie to his absolute max. He realizes that this is Johnny Lawrence's son, and he wants to use that against him. When Terry Silver gets into something, dude, he goes full throttle. He wants to absolutely demolish Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso. Oh my god, before I even talk more about the dissension, I want to talk about that scene again that I was kind of referencing in my non-spoiler with Silver and Kreese, their first interaction when they were talking, and he had mentioned that, you know, back then, I was a changed person. I was all hopped up on cocaine and revenge. Like, bro, I cannot believe they basically just said, like, his behavior in that third film was because of cocaine. That was amazing. I thought that was great, a great way to chalk all that up and explain it, because he is very wacky in that movie. Very wacky for a grown man who's not on anything. Like, he had to have been on something. So I'm glad that the show was able to address that kind of a topic and not make it jokey or, you know, non-serious. It was taken very seriously, I thought. And, you know, it brings you back to a laugh watching that movie. It really does. Like, they do make me smile in that movie. They're absolutely wacky, but they have fun with it, and they're really good in the roles. Now it's them aged up, and they do address it. They are older men now. They're in the Miyagi position. They have to take a little bit more responsibility. And while Kreese does do that, Silver, not so much. He doesn't start doing cocaine again. No, at least I don't think so. But he's more aged up. He's more wiser, but he is still falling into his old ways, his old manipulative ways. And Kreese was the most manipulative one in the Cobra Kai show as of season 4. Now, all the cocaine and revenge created this persona, and then he locked it up. It is now the Silver Force, if it's like a Marvel property. The Silver Force has now been locked and has now been reabsorbed by the new Terry Silver, the more older and wiser Terry Silver, who's been around the parks for quite a while. It's a dangerous combo, dude. He's just as dangerous as he was back then, if not more, dude. Terry Silver is unleashed in this show, and John Kreese unleashed the beast, and he realizes halfway through this season that maybe this was a mistake. Like, maybe you and I are not on the same page. You are taking things to a different level. And Terry Silver is crazy in this season, dude. He somehow brings Johnny Lawrence to the old location, the original Cobra Kai dojo from the first film, and he beats him up. It's just like the setup in part 3 when Daniel LaRusso went to the dojo and got jumped by Terry Silver and John Kreese. Only this time, John Kreese is unaware that this was happening. Terry Silver just did it because, you know, he's done it before, he'll do it again. But John Kreese doesn't know that this was happening. He was unaware that Johnny Lawrence was being brought to the dojo, so he shows a little bit of a soft spot for him in that scene, that he doesn't do anything, he backs away. And they have this nice dialogue in one of the episodes where Terry Silver says, "I know your weakness." And it's Johnny Lawrence, of course. It's always been Johnny Lawrence. And he says, "My weakness is you, John." Even in the final fight of the boys tournament, Terry Silver is trying to tell Robbie, keep going at it, beat his ass, do whatever you have to. And Kreese says, do what you feel is right. And I'm like, that's crazy, dude. This is the dude that told Johnny Lawrence to sweep the leg. You got a problem with that? Just when I thought John Kreese is pure evil, the show is shedding some light on him that I never thought we were ever gonna see. Oh man, and then it was revealed at the end of the last episode that Terry Silver was giving money to the ref because of a pre-existing deal. Lord knows what, he gave him money so that he would make sure Tori won the girls tournament. Man, dude, this is gonna be a crazy next season, because now he's given Cobra Kai a bad name. But Cobra Kai, in the eyes of the public right now, it has some goodwill, dude. Like, they're being portrayed as this really good dojo, like this really important and really awesome dojo with a badass name, of course. And now they're gonna open up new dojos in the valley, more Cobra Kais in the valley. I can already see the opening of Cobra Kai season 5. We're gonna see another dojo somewhere else, like 2-3 locations for sure, and I cannot wait for that. It's gonna get insane, dude. Wow, I did not expect to talk about Terry Silver and John Kreese for that long. So there was another dynamic that I'm sure you all love. Of course, Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso. I mean, come on, this stems from way back 1984, the first Karate Kid. I love their dynamic in this show. It's so well done, and it just keeps getting better and better with all these seasons. Just when you thought that they might be done with it, I was thinking that a little bit towards the end of season 3 when they showed both of them bringing together Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang. I'm like, oh, really? Are you just gonna team up now? But then immediately in episode 1, you're seeing that the styles are clashing and it's not gelling well together. Miyagi-Do is very self-contained and defense-based, whereas Eagle Fang is very in-your-face offense-based. But for the most part, Johnny and Daniel are getting along, and they're trying to figure out how to go about teaching these kids, because half of them are Eagle Fang, half of them are Miyagi-Do, and they need to learn somewhat of both styles if they're going to teach together. Otherwise, why be together at all? So they switch students for a day or two, and we get some exciting dynamics that we just haven't seen in the show so far. Sam LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence together, like, you've never seen that up until the first episode of the series when, she was driving with Yasmin and Moon and they hit Johnny's car. That was the only time they really interacted. It's one thing to have a scene between Daniel and Johnny, but to have Sam and Johnny together, that's very interesting, and I never thought I'd wanted a scene between the two. So Sam still has her whole life ahead of her, but she's following the guidelines of Daniel and the teachings of Miyagi-Do, how she's kind of just, falling in line, doing the one way, and listening to her parents, as a lot of people like to poke at Sam in the whole show. And Johnny says, I know one thing's for sure, if I followed my parents and how they wanted me to live my life, I'd be in a suit and tie sitting behind a desk for my whole adulthood, but I get to do what I love to do every day. And I thought that was a really awesome scene, and it really does help out the character of Sam, because she always felt like she was stuck in place doing what she was told to do or doing what she thought was right. Now she's doing what she wants to do, and that's a great character growth scene. I love that she got that scene in this season, and now she's becoming a more defined character, and it's only gonna get better in season 5. Hell, I even liked Hawk's little arc in this season. He's still that badass dude, but now he's with Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, and he's trying to tone it down a little bit because he did hurt a lot of the Miyagi-Dos in season 3, so he's toning it down a little bit. Up until now, Cobra Kai bullies him. They shave his whole mohawk off, and now he feels like he's nothing. He feels like that mohawk defined him. And Dimitri reminds him that it doesn't define him. Whether you have a mohawk or pigtails, you're still my buddy. You're still my binary brother, whatever the hell that means. So he reminds him. He restores faith into Eli, and now Hawk is Eli again. But he's still got that badassery that Hawk developed. So that's a dope character, man. Eli joins Miyagi-Do, and now he completes his training. He learns the Eagle Fang style Cobra Kai, and now he's got Miyagi-Do, and he's probably the best fighter now, if you ask me, with the exception of Miguel, because he was there first, but he got injured in this tournament, which is unfortunate. I got scared for a second, dude. I really thought like something bad happened, but it was just a pulled muscle. They really did, they edited that really well, dude. They were getting me on the edge of my seat thinking that he was in trouble. But I loved Eli's development in this season, man. He goes from that badass Hawk to low-level Eli, and then he elevates who he really is. He elevates Eli back to Hawk status, and he defeats Robbie Keane in the finals of the boys tournament and becomes the freaking All Valley Boys champion. Dude, that was a great moment. I was rooting for Eli, dude. That was awesome. This started in season 3, I believe, where we got introduced to Tori's real life outside of the karate-ness, and we got more of it in this season. She's just trying to make ends meet. She's taking care of her brothers, I believe, because she's got no parents to help out. She gets the aid of Amanda LaRusso, who feels bad for her. Like, yeah, she wishes she stopped beating the shit out of her daughter, but she does feel bad because that's still a human being. It's still a kid who's dealing with so much responsibility. So I like that there's a little dynamic between Tori and Amanda. That was really interesting, and I really liked it. Hopefully Sam warms up to the idea of her mom helping out her mortal nemesis in season 5. There's even a really dope episode where Johnny and Daniel teach each other their styles of karate. So Johnny teaches Daniel how to do Eagle Fang, and Daniel teaches Johnny Miyagi-Do, and it's awesome, dude. I love that they get to learn each other's styles, man. It's really cool. I love that their relationship is more than just a black and white good guy, bad guy thing. It started off that way in the first 2 seasons, which I had absolutely no problem with, but I love that they're introducing more and more depth to their relationship. It just brings more richness to it all, and it makes them more complex characters, and that's what I love, complex characters, but done right. Now I want to dive a little bit more into Robbie. Now Robbie, like I said in my non-spoiler video, he wasn't really my favorite character at all in the show. I really liked his, tournament growth in that first tournament of season 1, but ever since then he kind of just felt like a chameleon to me, going with whatever side he's on, and just didn't really feel like he was choosing that side. It was worse than Sam, in my opinion. Like, Sam has been doing what she's been told, but he kind of felt like he was doing what the show was told. I don't know. It was just different, and I never really connected with Robbie up until this season now. The whole thing about him and Johnny never really having that father-son relationship, it's been kicked up a notch, dude. Like, he has sided himself with Cobra Kai because he's that pissed off at his dad, at Johnny. But this show illustrates that Robbie's not a bad dude. He's still a really good guy. He first learned under the tutelage of Daniel in Miyagi-Do. That's where his training of karate stems from. And then he transitioned into Cobra Kai in this season. So he passes off the Miyagi-Do teachings to the Cobra Kai students. That way they know how to fight and combat against the Miyagi-Dos. I loved that idea of this season, of each side teaching each other's moves. That was just crazy to me, dude. And it just made for more entertaining fights. But going back to Robbie, even though he is on the bad side, so to speak, he's aligned with Cobra Kai, he takes it upon himself to teach Kenny, which is the new character. He's the brother of one guy from season 1 or 2 that was bullying Robbie. Like, he would just harass him, and now he's in juvie. But he was teaching his younger brother Kenny how to defend himself before he joined Cobra Kai. And I love that, dude. He was teaching him how to defend himself using Miyagi-Do. And it shows that Robbie is not this vicious guy. He's just trying to find his place. And that's really what it felt like in those first 3 seasons, albeit he just didn't feel like a character to me. Now he feels like a character, and I love how this show depicts Robbie, being in this hard place. He doesn't know what is good and what is bad. He doesn't know if he should continue down this path with Terry Silver's Cobra Kai. And I just love the fact that Robbie Keane made it to the finals twice, in the first season and the 4th, and he lost. Now, I feel like the show might be building towards a 3rd tournament, and it might end on that 3rd tournament. I don't know how long the show can keep going, but if they keep finding new innovative ways to tell this story and to keep adding in elements from the original films and make it more fresh and exciting, then they could probably go on for like 10 seasons. I really don't know. I don't know how long they can go on for, but season 5, I believe, is already confirmed. I can see where the story ends with Cobra Kai. It's still centering around Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso, but Robbie Keane's getting up there in importance, in his level of importance. I think the show could end on a note where Robbie Keane wins an All Valley championship and he celebrates with his dad, and that's the pivotal moment that they're finally bonding together and they finally accept each other in their lives, and they finally apologize for all the bad things they've done to each other, specifically Johnny for not being there for his son. So yeah, the last 2 episodes centered around the All Valley tournament, and not only did they introduce a new girls tournament separate from the boys tournament, but they introduced these skills competitions where they would just do like weapons displays or breaking boards and whatnot. All of that added up to points, to a grand trophy, and Cobra Kai stole the majority of the trophies. They won the girls' championship tournament trophy, and they won all the skills, I believe, for the most part. But Miyagi-Do had Eli took the boys' championship with them. Overall, though, Cobra Kai won, and the stipulation between the dojos were if Cobra Kai wins, Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang need to shut down completely. Now, it was unclear if they said that Daniel LaRusso can't train anymore, like he'll just start a new thing, because that's gonna happen. Of course, someone's gonna start a new thing. The last scene shows Daniel at Miyagi's grave. He's paying respects and he's saying, "I've tried, but now I have to kick it up a notch," and the camera pans and I'm thinking, oh god, oh no, don't show us Hilary Swank. Nope, they showed Chosen. Chosen walks right up to Daniel and he bows, and then they bow at Miyagi's grave, and now we're gonna get a team up of Daniel LaRusso and Chosen. They're probably gonna be starting up a new Miyagi-Do of sorts. where they train the true Miyagi-Do, because that's what was revealed in season 3, that there's a different form of Miyagi-Do that Daniel was never accustomed to, that Mr. Miyagi never really taught him about. And now Chosen and Daniel are now going to clash together, form a new dojo probably, so that they could finally take down Cobra Kai. That's awesome. I cannot wait for season 5. I can't wait to see where that ends up. But it looks like on the Johnny Lawrence side of things, he might be distant from all of the karate stuff. That's what it looks like. He is now going to be on the run looking for Miguel, because Miguel left the tournament early. He hurt himself and he had about a minute to respond if he can return to the fight, but he ended up leaving. He never responded. He left a note for his mom saying he's looking for his dad because he found out where his dad lives and he wants to go meet him because he's never met him before. Then his mom reveals that his dad doesn't even know who he is. So that's just crazy, man. I feel for Miguel. I love that story, but I don't know how long they're going to go with that story in season 5. I hope it doesn't last the whole season. Probably like the first 3 to 5 episodes maybe. Because I do really care about those two characters. I don't really want to see them distanced from the whole karate thing. Unless Miguel's father is some sort of karate expert or something and there's gonna be a big old fight down in Mexico. Who knows? That's probably where the show's gonna go. So guys, I think I've talked enough about Cobra Kai season 4. I don't know, do you think I've talked enough? Anyways guys, let me know down below if you've gotten a chance to finish the whole new season of Cobra Kai season 4. If you didn't and you made it this far, I just spoiled the hell out of that for you. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys, and be sure to stick around because I've started my Batman movie review marathon where I review all of the films from 1989's Batman all the way up until Robert Pattinson's The Batman that drops March 4th. I'll be in if it doesn't get delayed. Please don't. So Batman 1989, directed by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton, should have been on the channel yesterday. Next week, we're going on to Batman Returns. And I haven't seen those old Batman films in the longest time. So it's going to be interesting to talk about them and revisit them. You might want to stick around, guys, because there's a bunch of content coming to the channel. And as I always say, there is more to come.